Let's clear something up right now. A man doesn't measure your value by how sweet you sound or how many good girl boxes you check. What actually shifts his focus, what makes him pause and pay attention, is what you don't say. It's how you move when the spotlight's off. If you've ever sat back and asked yourself, why do some women never have to chase while I'm out here overthinking every little thing just to keep his interest? It's not about looks. It's not even about personality. It's about energy. There's a kind of woman who doesn't need to announce her worth. She doesn't prove, she doesn't plead, she simply exists in a way that commands attention without demanding it. And trust me, men feel that. They don't fall for surface-level charm. They fall for the impression you leave behind, not from your words, from your way. And today, I want to walk you through 7 silent moves that shift how a man sees you. Not just as a woman he's dating, but as someone he deeply respects. Someone whose presence he craves, not because she performs, but because she simply is. Here's what those women do differently. The first one's subtle, but it's everything. They don't over-explain. You'd be surprised how fast your power drains the moment you start justifying every boundary, every decision, every feeling. The need to explain yourself to be understood often comes from a fear of being rejected. But here's the truth. When you stand in your truth, you don't need backup dancers. Imagine this. He asks why you don't want to go out tonight, and instead of running down your whole day like a defense lawyer, you just say, I need a quiet night. No excuse. No fluff. Just a calm, direct answer. That's presence. Men listen differently when a woman speaks from stillness instead of anxiety. And when she knows when to stop talking, she doesn't just earn his respect, she owns it. Because clarity feels like strength, and silence, when used right, speaks volumes. Let's talk about how you live. Not just what you say, but what you do when no one's watching. The kind of woman who holds value in a man's eyes is never waiting for someone else to make her life feel full. She's got goals, structure, intention. And no, it's not about being busy for the sake of it. It's about waking up with purpose. For you. A woman who invests in herself doesn't wait for a man to bring the spark. She's the fire. She's reading, she's lifting, she's building something. Even if it's just herself. When a man sees that your world keeps moving with or without him, he realizes real quick. If he wants to be part of it, he's got to show up with more than a few sweet words. Because men chase what they feel they could lose. And the moment he senses that your happiness isn't tied to him, he starts moving with more care, more consistency. Because now he's not just interested, he's inspired. Now here's a trap a lot of women fall into without even knowing: telling too much, too soon. Oversharing might feel like intimacy, but more often than not, it's a defense mechanism. It's a fast track to emotional closeness without the foundation of trust. You think, if I show him my pain, my history, my heart, he'll feel closer to me. But what actually happens? You hand over pieces of yourself before he's shown he can hold them. Slow burn always wins. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's wisdom. You don't owe anyone instant access to the most sacred parts of your life. Let curiosity grow. Let him ask the next question. Let silence stretch without rushing to fill it. That kind of restraint, that's rare. And rare makes a man lean in. Now let's switch gears, because there's something almost primal in how a man connects. And physical touch is at the center of that. But not just any touch. It's the quality, the intentionality. Men remember the hand on the back as you pass by. The fingers that trace the edge of a collar. The still, quiet way you rest your head on our shoulder when words don't fit the moment. It's not about being seductive. It's about being present in your body, confident in your space. Touch, when it's grounded, doesn't just stir desire. It builds trust. It says, I'm here. I see you. I'm not afraid to connect. And that right there, that creates a kind of intimacy no words can match. But connection doesn't stop with touch. It deepens with reinforcement. When a man shows up, plans the date, follows through, chooses thoughtfulness over convenience, notice it. Let him feel the reward of effort. Not because he's a pet needing praise, but because humans move toward what feels good. So when his actions lead to more connection, more appreciation, more warmth from you, he associates showing up with being fulfilled. And without even thinking, he starts doing it more. Not for approval, for you. That's how you teach someone how to love you. Not through lectures, but through emotional feedback. Quiet, but powerful. And then there's this move, one that flips the whole game. Be the one to end the conversation. I don't care if it's flowing beautifully, if the banter's perfect, end it while it's still golden. Let him sit with the aftertaste of your presence. Let him want the next moment instead of trying to squeeze every drop out of this one. Say, I've got to run, but this was really good. Leave with grace, not scarcity, strength. Because when you end the moment before it drags, you stay in control of your energy. You stay in motion. You never become always available, and that subtle pull keeps him engaged. And if he drifts because you didn't stretch the moment out for him, good. You just saved yourself months of guessing. Now that's power. Let's talk about something that destroys more connections than people realize: focusing on other women. Now I get it. When a guy brings up a female friend or you see him liking someone's post, the instinct might be to confront it, call it out, ask questions. But here's the reality. The moment you place another woman at the center of your attention, you've already given your power away. Because now it's not about you anymore. It's about comparison. About measuring yourself against someone else who shouldn't even be in the conversation. There's a kind of confidence that doesn't flinch when other women are around, because she knows who she is. She doesn't need to monitor, compete, or comment. If a man wants to explore something elsewhere, he's free to do that. She won't chase. She won't beg. She'll simply exit, quietly, decisively. And that energy? That's rare. That's unshakable. I remember a moment once. I got a text from an ex on my birthday. Totally random. My phone was out and the woman I was seeing saw it light up. I braced myself for the usual: accusations, side eyes, maybe even a little drama. But she didn't flinch. She looked me in the eye and said, "You're grown. I trust you to handle it like a man. If you don't, I won't be here." No screaming, no jealousy, just certainty. And let me tell you, that moment stuck with me more than any emotional outburst ever could. Because what she communicated without raising her voice was this: I don't chase attention, I don't beg for loyalty, and I don't lose sleep over competition. Men hear that, loud and clear. When you lead with grounded confidence, not comparison, not competition, you become unforgettable. Not because you're louder or flashier, but because you operate on a level most people never reach. And here's the truth underneath all of this. Men don't fall in love with noise. They fall for energy. They remember how you moved through our world, how your presence made them feel. It's not the texts, it's not the talks, it's the vibe you brought into the room, the standard you set without explanation, the way you never begged for respect because you lived like someone who already had it. So if you want to become the kind of woman who doesn't just attract a man, but makes him elevate just to keep pace with you, it starts here. Not with what you say, but with what you embody. You say less, but it lands deeper. You invest in your own life, and suddenly, he wants to be part of it. You hold back the urge to spill everything too fast, and now you're a mystery he wants to understand. You touch with intention, and he feels it long after you've left. You reward effort, and he connects, showing up with feeling good. You end the moment early, and he starts wondering when he'll get more. You stop focusing on other women, and now he's focused only on you. And you didn't have to chase him, convince him, change yourself for him. You just moved differently. So many women are out here trying to be chosen, adjusting themselves, shrinking themselves, hoping to earn someone's attention. But the ones who truly hold value, they don't play that game. They know they're the prize, not in a loud, arrogant way, but in the way they carry themselves. Quiet, unapologetic, centered. And that kind of woman, she doesn't chase love. She attracts it, she sustains it, and if it's not right, she releases it without fear. So, if you're watching this right now, wondering if you need to do more to make him see your worth, stop. You don't need to do more. You need to be more of yourself, but not the anxious version, not the one performing, the centered version, the version who lets her silence speak. Now, here's the most important part. This isn't about tricks or tactics. This is about becoming, about rewiring how you move in relationships so that your value is never tied to how someone else treats you. Because once you've mastered these 7 silent actions, something changes. Not just in how men see you, but in how you see yourself. You're no longer guessing where you stand. You're no longer pouring into someone who doesn't have the depth to receive you. You're no longer afraid to walk away if the energy isn't right. You're grounded, you're clear, you're done performing. And in that state, that fully embodied state, men don't just value you, they rise for you. Or they fall off. Either way, you win. So if you take anything from this, let it be this. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to chase to be chosen. You don't have to overgive to be seen. The most powerful moves you'll ever make will be made in silence. Let that be your new standard. Let that be your new story. And watch how everything and everyone starts responding differently to you. You don't need more noise. You just need to own your presence. Let him feel that. If this spoke to you, not just as advice, but as a reminder of who you really are, drop a comment. Let me know where this hit home, because this isn't just a conversation, it's a community, and I'm honored you're here. Take this, own it, live it, and I'll see you in the next one. You've got this.